Hi everyone, welcome to another session of MBA Pathshala. So today we have come up with a new topic that is NMAT, SNAP, FIB. It means fill in the blanks. So whenever we talk about these two examinations, grammar is an integrated part of these exams. There will be direct questions, especially on prepositions, which we have come up with today. So when we talk about these two exams, there are around, you can say, questions which are way too easier at the additional factor which you guys want to get in these type of questions, that is that these questions are actually such kind of questions which you can actually solve in maybe less than 10 minutes. Okay, so number of questions will be more and the time consumption will be less, so you will have a lot of time to solve those questions which are basically time consuming. Okay, so but basically we obviously take these type of topics very lightly. We feel ki okay, it is preposition only, ho jayega, kar lenge, pata hai, daily usage mein hai. But that is not the right way to do it, because sometimes it can be little trickier if you don't practice. Okay, practice will obviously make these topics easier for you, and you will be able to attempt more questions and in less time. Okay, so let's start with the session. Before session, would like to give you a reminder that we are starting with new batches of CAT and non-CAT exams. Okay, you can just simply give us a call on these numbers. You can also attend free demo by IIM Alumni on Quant. Okay, now if you guys are targeting only CAT exam, if you feel that you need a boost, score booster for your CAT examination, we have also started with 45 days CAT marathon. Okay, in which you will learn a lot about CAT, like how to solve higher level questions and how to solve them with minimum time, and every single thing will be there which can actually help you in boosting your CAT score. If you are planning, basically your focus is on NMAT and SNAP, so we have come up with a crash course also, in which you will be having live session. You will be solving previous year question paper to have better idea of the examination pattern of examination. One-to-one mentorship will be there, so that you will have a better exposure to the examination and a lot more factors. For more information, you can call on this number anytime. Okay, starting with our session. So before starting with the session, let's understand what exactly prepositions are. There can be a complex definition that preposition is this, that, like that. So let's not go into detail. Simple definition of preposition is showing relationship between two things. That's it. Keep it as simple as you can. So whenever I'm talking about two things and I have to show that what exact relationship they are sharing, I need to use preposition. Now, preposition can be broadly divided into three categories. That is time, direction, and location. Okay. Now, let's talk about these specific question. If you guys have any doubt or question, you can simply drop it in the chat box. So I'll take all the doubts in the end of the session. Okay, so do not worry about it. In middle of the session, I might not be able to take, but at the end of the session, I'll take all the doubts. Okay, chalo, let's start. It is surprising indeed that he has an access blank all the important leaders of the country. Okay, come up with the idea. Anyone who wanna try that what's supposed to be the answer? Go on, pretty easy one. You have four options in front of you. You have the sentence in front of you. All you need to do is simply decide that what should be the answer. Okay, of. Anyone else? No one? Okay, chalo, let's see. First, let's identify that we have to show the relationship between these which two things. Then only we'll be able to decide. Okay, so two. Okay, Ranjit is saying two. Yes, Ranjit, you are absolutely right. See, It is surprising indeed that he has an access blank all the important leaders of the country. Okay, so whenever we are talking about access, we always have to with it. You have access to something, because this is mainly when I say direction doesn't every time it need to be in a geographical way. It can be subjective way too. So access will always have to with it, because you always have access to something. Many a times I have seen a lot of students using of. Sanjeev Kumar, good evening Sanjeev. That many a times they're using of because this sounds correct to us. And why it sounds correct? Because we have also heard from someone else using of. So one thing I would like to tell, in every single verbal topic, there is one problem which we are facing nowadays. Like if you ask my observation, my experience, this problem is there like from last 4 5 years, that students are actually going by sound. Okay, they feel that this one sounds correct. Okay, this we have heard, this we are habitual of speaking, so this the answer is supposed to be this, and they simply blindly mark the answer. But the problem is that whatever we heard is not correct, because 60 to 70% of grammar we are actually using that grammar in incorrect way. Yes, Sanjeev Kumar, you always have access to anything, hence 2 will be the answer. So I'm telling you that do not go by the sound, because what is happening, that whenever we go for the sound, we might be listening it wrong. So how do we know that which sounds correct to us, which we are using, is actually correct? So don't go by the sound, apply the logic and stick to your logic, even though if this sounds incorrect to you. Because many a time correct one sounds incorrect to you because you are not habitual of listening to that correct one, and correct one sounds incorrect, and incorrect sounds correct to you. It's all about the habit. Okay, chalo. Next, the trouble originated blank a pretty quarrel. Okay, so this trouble basically gave birth to something. Anyone who wanna try? Come on. Originated. Whenever we talk about some origin, something originated. So where does origination takes place? Anyone? Okay. So many a times I'm not saying, okay, Sanjeev, so you have learned this from an English web series. That's pretty good. But everything which they speak in web series, not correct at all. Okay, about, beside, into. Okay, so I have multiple answers with me. In fact, we have covered all the answers. Okay, so see, whenever we talk about origination, it means something has taken birth. So whenever we talk about something has taken birth, it will always go with in. Originated in a pretty quarrel, because basically something took place inside something. About, to is to mainly used with direction. Whenever there is subjective or geographical direction is involved, to is used then. In is used whenever something takes place in boundaries, or whenever there is 3D dimension. At that time we use dimension. And now we see to, into. So basically when we talk about into is basically the combination of in and to. It means inside something 3D dimension, and where direction is also involved. So whenever we combine these things, it becomes into. Clear? No, I'm not talking about into is their option. Correct answer is all I'm telling that how we use into, how into is made. Into is basically the combination of in, that is 3D dimension, and to, which is used for directional usage. So hence we made into. When 3D dimension, it means going under something, and direction is used. That time we used into. Now, next. It is due to their lethargy that the plane fell. Okay, answer is Okay, it is due to their lethargy that the plane fell. Okay, fell out, fell through, fell away, fell apart. Anyone who wanna try this one? Fell apart, fell apart, fell apart. Okay, maximum of answers I'm getting fell apart. Anyone who is coming up with any different answer? Okay, maximum of answers are apart. That's pretty good. Okay. Anyone else who want to come up with any different meaning? Okay. See, there are basically two types of preposition. We call it phrasal preposition also. First is obviously our normal preposition, that is into, out, inside, outside, like that. And one is called phrasal preposition. Now, when we talk about phrasal preposition are more like vocabulary, you can say. It means that we cannot actually come up with the meaning with their literal meaning. In fact, they do have a meaning like an idiom. जैसे idiom की जब हम बात करते, so we don't really take idioms literally. We understand their meaning. That okay, if I talk about crocodile tears, that doesn't mean कि किसी ने actual में crocodile tears लाया और उसको अपनी आंखों में डाला, right? That is not really possible. But we understand the meaning of that. Same happens with phrasal prepositions as well. Okay, so here we want to say that something failed. Okay, so when we want to address that something, that certain things fail to achieve something, or certain thing fails to accomplish what they're supposed to be, in that case the correct usage is fell through. Hence it won't be the fell apart, because you went with the literal meaning, but here we want to talk about the meaning we want to convey is failed, and the correct preposition we can use for failed is through. If I'll go for fell apart, so ऐसा कुछ हो जाएगा कि ये प्लेन था और ये ऐसा टुकड़े टुकड़े हो गया, fell apart, ऐसा कुछ मीनिंग हो जाएगा, but we want to say that this actually failed. Hence the correct meaning will be through. I hope there is no doubt in this one. Anyone, any doubt in this? Understood the difference between phrasal and phrasal preposition and preposition? Phrasal will come with a definite meaning. We never go by the literal meaning of the phrasal. Next. Okay. He felt very much grateful his boss for the kindness he had shown in granting him leave. Okay. He felt very much grateful. His boss. So we need to show the relationship between grateful and his boss. What he felt. These are the keywords we need to pay attention on. Anyone? Anyone? Come on, try at least. Grateful to. Yes, Nikita Rajesh. That's what you were asking something? Okay, you were asking about plan and plan. It was just an example that I wanted to give, which because it sounded pretty similar. So I just explained. Okay, that's suppose we want to say that plane failed. वो start ही नहीं हुआ या कुछ. And when we have to show that this plane failed to start, so we use fell through, and then this falls apart. So this was just an example, not related to the concept. I was explaining the meaning of difference between fell apart and fell through. Okay, and this one sounds pretty similar to plan and plane. That's why I explained it. So this has to do, this plane wala thing has to do nothing with the question. Okay, I was just explaining the difference between fell apart and fell through. Okay, any question related to plane and plan? Okay, I hope not. That was just the part of explanation to show the difference between a plan ka diagram I cannot draw. So that's why I thought that plane is a better example. Okay, going back to the question. So maximum of answers I have received is 2. Correct. So whenever we are grateful for anyone, so the always we use for to. Grateful will always take to, irrespective of anything. Okay? Because anyway, you are having a kind of emotion, directional emotion towards your boss. Hence, to. Next, every one of us will have to atone blank his or her misdeeds. Okay. Answers? Come on. No answers? With? No. Or? Okay. Okay. Whenever we talk of atone, it means apologizing to someone. So whenever we go for no, that always takes for, because again we are showing a relationship between action and misdeeds. So it will be for, always. Atone for his or her misdeeds. Understood? It means apologizing. Next, the consequences of his haughtiness were that his services were dispensed blank by his master. Okay, pretty interesting. Anyone? Hint is here. Because these are the kind of words which, so today the session is more about that. With certain kind of words, there are fixed prepositions. So whenever we talk about services which has been dispensed, there is one word which will always be there. Anyone? Up with? Okay, so whenever we talk about services dispensed, that will always take with, irrespectively to anything. It will be with, not up, not about, not from. It will be dispensed with by his master. Next, these days everybody complains blank high prices for commodities. Okay, pretty easy. Anyone? Complaints. We do a lot. So whenever you complain, you always complain. You go through. No, through is more like this. This is suppose a hall. When you pass this, that is through. Over is this. Away is this. So some, not all preposition has its own diagram, but some they do have. So here, of is the correct user. Whenever we complain of something. And whenever we are doing it to someone, we always complain to someone. Okay, so what we complain about takes off, and the person we deliver our complaint, that always takes to. Clear? I hope I'm pretty clear with you people. Over. I hope no doubt in this one. Next. Which matching do you subscribe? Okay, pretty easy. Anyone? Subscribe. This is kind of a phrase which we listen like every single day. Whenever we watch YouTube channel or whenever we saw any ad or kuch bhi aisa, whenever we watch something, there is always one word they use: subscribe to our channel, which I always say in the last. Subscribe to. So this is thanks to YouTube that we are all aware with this. Subscribe to, irrespective of anything. Okay, Nikita, no, it is subscribe to. You must be watching YouTube channels, right, Nikita? So you must have seen that they always say subscribe to our channel. Subscribe to our channel. Next, we must not park blank the errors of our ancestors. Okay, anyone? Anyone? Okay, so coming to it, if you are confused with the vocabulary, when we consistently complain about something, when we just find fault with something, and we complain continuously and unnecessary about it, it means we don't really need to, but we do it. That is so many unnecessary and continuous mode of complaining. So we must not continuously or unnecessary complain blank the error of our ancestors. So as we have changed the word, so obviously the preposition will also change. So in this case, we cannot go with of or to because the word has changed. So we must not cast blank the error. So it is more about. We must not keep unnecessary complaining or creating an issue about something. So it will be about. Clear? Doubt? Okay, maximum of you are correct only. Okay, let's proceed for next. A preface blank, a book introduces the book. Okay, so this is more like a sentence, more like just an informative or maybe descriptive sentence. A preface, maybe more like an introduction. Whenever we introduce to some, hence answer will be two, because preface is what? It is basically a kind of introduction only. So a preface to a book introduces the book. Hence, correct answer is two. I hope no doubt in this one. Okay, correct, Sanjeev, absolutely right. Okay, next. Ramesh is on holiday and he blank his money very quickly. Okay. Okay, so hint is that this has to do something with the tense. You have to consider tense also at the same time. Continuous. He is on holiday, so it means we have to go for a kind of action which is in continuous form and in present tense. This is will have been is future continuous. Okay, have spent perfect present. Okay, spent simple present. Is spending is present continuous, that he is on holiday, so currently he is spending. Hence, answer will be is spending. Okay, so this is not related to the preposition, but more like a FIB question in which you have to fill in the blank with the most appropriate word. Okay, so whenever such question comes in the examination, you have to keep multiple things in your mind. It can be related to tenses, it can be related to preposition, it can be related to parallel construction, it can be related to subject verb agreement. Okay, so at that time, it might be possible that you are not aware that what error is there or what am I supposed to opt for. In that case, it becomes really difficult because how am I supposed to recall all the rule at once? So that's why practice may be helpful, and you will get eventually habitual of those things. And like this, when I say I are, so this sounds pretty odd, right? Because we are not habitual of listening to I are. No one says this. So it will be I am. So whenever you see I are, you immediately identify, okay, no, this has to be I am. So when you practice a little about grammar also, you will eventually get habitual of reading and getting the right meaning. Next. So there are speculations before these events which ultimately blank in the formation of a republic. Okay. So when we talk about word, sorry, ultimately. So ultimately gives us a hint of, that we are actually talking about end result of something, right? Eventually, ultimately, these are the words which shows that okay, धीरे धीरे करके end result हमने ले लिया. So when we go for this, so culmination fits the best in this case. And moreover, we have a preposition too. So with this, culmination is the best. We never say bought, ultimately bought in the formation of republic or warranted or led. It has to be culminated. And moreover, we have two hints. First, ultimately, it means we are talking about eventually giving hint of ending. And second is end. So two hints are there. So it becomes pretty easy for us to identify the right answer. Clear? In will be taken by culminated, not led. Led by hota hai, usually led in nahi hota. So hence led is the incorrect usage. Now next. This book, blank, pie section. Comprises of, to, or is. Consists. Now what is the correct usage? Anyone? Here, first of all, we can easily eliminate this one because comprises never takes off. Okay, because comprises itself mean that containing something. Hence, of is not required here. So this we can easily eliminate. To is again an incorrect usage because when we talk about comprise, it is enough to say only comprises. And moreover, book is there, which is singular. So we need, and this is an action verb. Okay, so it has to be in the form of S. So we can easily eliminate this, and consist is the incorrect one. Hence, second one. Any doubt? Any question in this? Comprises of, Nikita, is incorrect. We never use of or any kind of preposition with comprises. It's a complete word in itself. It doesn't need to show, it itself shows the relationship between the things. So we don't need a relationship word. That's why we never use preposition with comprises. Okay, Sanjeev, you said that in previous question, led was wrong or less appropriate. It was wrong, not less appropriate. Okay, next. The doctors blank a special course of antibiotic on the patient to blank the disease. Okay. So first, the doctor blank a special course of antibiotic on the patient. So we don't give something. Okay, you don't special course of antibiotic, give a special course of antibiotic. This is actually a wrong usage. Didn't prescribe. Okay, prescribed is more like that you have written it, you have suggested it. It is more like that. Used, it not. Used is not the correct word for this. Usually, whenever we are conducting any kind of medicines or something like, the correct word is administered. Okay, whenever a doctor is conducting any kind of special course on any patient, it can be related to any antibiotic course or any other course, they don't use it. Used a special course, this is the wrong usage for medicinal purpose. Gave is just like handing over. You can use it more like that. I gave medicine to my auntie. It's just like an action which involved passing one thing to another. So the object was medicine. The object can be anything. So that's why give can be used in that way, but not in medical purpose. I cannot say that I describing or I'm coming up with a kind of critique. I am a doctor. I should give this person this particular medicine. So in this case, gave is actually incorrect usage. Okay, and you don't take out the disease. Disease is not a thing that you can just simply take out from the body. So anyway, this is the incorrect one. Prescribed is more like the suggestion. Here he is actually conducting that course of antibiotics. So administered is the correct usage, and for second, combat. It means you need to just get rid of that particular, to fight with that disease. Hence, D is the most appropriate one. Clear to everyone? Any doubt? Comprises of a O double F is different and O F is different, Nikita. That's why O F is incorrect for that blank, because they both are very different from each other. O double F and O F. Okay, I hope no doubt in this one. Next, autonomy is the ability of an animal to blank a part of its body at will to save itself from predators and attackers. Okay, Sanjeev, coming back to that question after solving this one, okay, because other student might get confused. So I'm coming to that question again, the previous one, and then we'll discuss the difference between prescribe and administer. Okay. Okay, now this one. So we are actually describing. This is again a kind of, we can say, phrasal preposition. It means we cannot work on the basis of logic. When we talk about preposition, they work on the basis of logic. But whenever we talk about phrasal verbs, they do not work on the basis of logic. It's more like that. Why am I using word animal? Why am I not using any other word? It's more like that. Whenever we discuss why there has to be this answer when it comes to phrasal verb. So in this case, the meaning is that autonomy is ability of an animal to blank a part of its body at will to save itself from predator. So it means like giving something or removing something from your body. You get attacked. आपका maybe there is an animal, उसका पैर पकड़ लिया predator ने. So what the animal will do? वो अपना पैर छोड़ के उधर से जाएगा. So that is. So it means the word I need for here is to leave or to remove, okay, or means to remove. Okay, so the best appropriate meaning where I can find this, it is not cut off. वो cut off करके नहीं जाता है ना, cut down. It actually leaves. वो काटता नहीं है खुद से. That's why it's supposed to be cast off, which means to remove something, because he has no other option. Okay, I hope this one is clear to you. Any question in this one? Okay, I'm hoping that there is no question between among these questions. So I'm coming back to the question. Okay, so you were saying that doctors prescribe, right? Okay, so when I talk about prescribe is more like, if you see the go by the meaning, it is more like an advice. Or, so obviously you cannot go to the chemist and you cannot buy drugs by yourself, so it is more like authorized advice, or authorized the use of, to someone, that you are giving, advising that person, and you are giving that, giving the authority to the person to buy those drugs. That is prescription. That is prescribed. Understood? Clear hua? Any doubt, any question? Come on. I'm not getting any answer. Okay. What the book question? Okay. Sherry, I didn't get your question. Question 5. Can you rewrite your question? Okay, that's a difference between comprises and consist. Okay, so I hope this one is clear. This one is more like advising and giving the authorized advice to someone that you have all the authority to buy drugs. Administer, when I just simply conduct, it means everything is under my control. I'm not simply giving the advice or prescribing something ki jao ye jaake dawai le lo. It is that I'm conducting the antibiotic course on the person itself under my guidance. That's the difference. I hope this one is pretty clear. Next question I am getting, what I understood is that Nikita, what's the answer? I think you're asking for this one. The answer for last one is cast off. You were asking for this only, right? If I'm not wrong. Okay, so I hope I'm clear. Okay. Okay, so coming back to consist and comprise. Okay, let's go back to the question. We were. Okay, so when we talk about consist and comprise, this book blank 5 chapter. Okay, so I think comprise of ka doubt tha, which I have cleared. So comprise is when we talk about that something is made up of something. This means when something is made up of. Okay, so can I say that this book is made up of 5 sections? Can I say this? Okay, when I talk about consist, it mainly becomes to be something more like that. Consist of this, having this, or to be this, more like this. But here we want to say made up of, for which comprises is the exact meaning. Clear? I hope I'm clear. Okay, any other question, any other doubt you people having? Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this session and I hope you have learned at least a little from this particular session. So, for more such session, keep watching MBA Pachala, and by the time, take care and keep practicing.